In today's brief video, I want to share with you guys the hardest thing about quitting smoking weed and staying sober. And what I talk about today could be applied to any substance: alcohol, nicotine, pills, it doesn't matter. The hardest thing about staying sober is finding patience throughout your sobriety and recovery process. And I'm not talking about the type of patience where you're sitting in a car and getting frustrated in traffic, or where you're getting frustrated with your husband or your wife or your children. I'm talking about a very different type of patience, a patience that lacking often will lead to relapse. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of AddictionMindset recovery coaching programs, which are dedicated to helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, substances I once struggled with. To learn more about our paid coaching programs, our free resources, or our new launch of our Kick It Crave Less gum chewing supplement, be sure to check out the pinned comment or the video description. One of the hardest things for me when I quit smoking weed and doing other various substances was finding patience in my day-to-day life. When we consume drugs, we're used to changing our state of mind, both psychologically and our being physically, instantaneously. If I were to pick up weed and smoke, within a matter of minutes, I'm going to feel different psychologically and physically. My body's going to feel different. If I were to take a hit of nicotine, that's arguably even faster acting than weed. If I were frustrated at work and I were to come home and drink a bunch of alcohol, I'm changing how I feel. And in sobriety, especially when we first quit drugs, learning to deal with and manage emotions, and learning that I was not going to instantaneously change any given situation was a really hard thing for me. And when people would talk about practicing patience, my immediate gut reaction, which I still kind of have today, is screw patience. Look, I got to get on my feet financially. I got to get my relationships in order. I got to get my business in order. Things have been screwed up in my life because of addiction, and I don't have time to sit around and be patient and wait for everything to organize. And I still somewhat feel that way today. I don't necessarily sit here and preach, oh, good things will come and just give it time. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're used to changing how you feel and getting an immediate result. That's what drug use is. We consume a drug, we instantaneously change how we feel, and the results of drug use are instant, at least psychologically and physically, they're instantaneous. In sobriety and recovery, that's not going to be the case. And finding patience in moments of anger, in moments of frustration, in moments of anxiety and depression, and finding acceptance in the fact that you're not going to, at least early on, be able to instantaneously change that feeling, that's where the type of patience, that's the practice of patience that I'm talking about. And for a lot of people, this often leads to relapse. So I get sober and I say, I want to change how I feel physically. I want to change my diet instantaneously. I want to change my financial circumstances. I want to change my business. And people think that this is going to happen quick because we're used to that quick fix, if you will, from the drug. And that's just not how it works in the real world. That's not how it works in the sobriety and recovery process. And I think just acknowledging that is a really, really good step to actually developing more patience, understanding why you lack patience in early sobriety and recovery, because drugs made you very accustomed to not being patient. Now, the other aspect to practicing patience is when we're in the guise of active addiction, we're used to feeling a certain type of way. Even if that type of way is feeling crappy, it becomes very, very comfortable, right? Like to a large extent, I became comfortable feeling like crap all the time throughout active addiction. Once I quit using drugs, started to take care of my health better, started to get some more money in my bank account, get a few shekels, I wasn't used to that. That was different for me, and it was actually uncomfortable. And I had to develop a certain level of patience And one of the ways of doing that was starting to become comfortable with something that for me was once foreign, which was feeling better, having a little bit more money, actually being present for, my family and my relationships. That was new to me. And I had to learn patience in each of those various experiences. And that was uncomfortable. And simply by practicing something that was uncomfortable was a way of developing more patience. Some people might do this through the act of fasting or through the act of trying to change how they look physically by going to the gym. And over the course of a year, consistency in the gym, they're going to develop more patience. There's a few other tips that I have for you. I'll give you 5 more simple tips when it comes to developing patience. Tip number 1 would be having gratitude. I think when we quit drugs, it's very easy to sit around and say, I wish this was this way and I wish that was that way. But finding gratitude and being grateful for the things that you do have and being grateful for the things that you have an opportunity to now improve, I think is a key way to start developing more patience. And at the end of this video, I'll link a video on gratitude for you guys that I did. Another way to develop more patience is by reframing the situation that you're so impatient about. What is it that's actually making you angry and upset or impatient over? And what is the bigger picture of this situation that's at hand? So trying to reframe or rework the situation that's making you so impatient and trying to look at it from an outsider's perspective can be very, very valuable. Tip number 3, evaluate and visualize the end goal. I want you to take the situation that you're impatient about. Maybe it's your physical health. Maybe it's your financial health. Maybe you just launch a supplement business and you want to see it be an overnight success, right? What is it that you're impatient about? Now visualize the roadmap to success. Visualize yourself actually succeeding at said thing. So you got sober and you want to change how your body looks. Visualize a physically fit version of you. See yourself actually achieving that version of you. Now we're going to add to this, and this is tip number 4. When you're going through that intense visualization, as you're trying to visualize you being a success, you got to ask yourself, what are the things that I need to act on right now in order to make that happen? A large part of my lack of patience in early sobriety was actually continued procrastination. For me, doing drugs was a source of procrastination. I was procrastinating in my personal life, my business life, my financial life, and my physical health. Drugs are a convenient source of procrastination. While I'm high, I'm tired, I don't have the physical energy to do this because of addiction, I'll wait until another time when I'm feeling better. I found that by acting efficiently and swiftly on the things that I wanted to improve in my life, so the things that I was visualizing, I actually felt better and less irritated, and I actually started to develop more patience for other things. So if I want to get something accomplished in my business, instead of putting it off, I'm going to act on that thing immediately, and then I'm going to have more patience for my child, more patience for my relationships, because now this thing isn't on my mind. I'm not procrastinating on something that needs to be addressed. So the more things that I rapidly address, the more patience I have for other aspects of my life. If that makes any sense, it's kind of a complicated topic to explain. And that was a hard thing to overcome because throughout active addiction, procrastination became a normal for me. So I was used to procrastinating on things. I was used to instantaneously changing my state of being, both physically and mentally. From a standpoint of gratitude, I can't say that I had very much throughout active addiction because I was always trying to run away from the things that I had. But it was in sobriety and recovery and changing my mindset on all these things and practicing each of these things that I started to develop more patience. And it's funny because the more patience I have for things, the less flustered I've been, and the quicker I've been able to get things done and accomplish stuff. Because like I said, the message of this video is not sit around, oh, it will come when it comes. That's not the message. The message is one of trying to learn traits that will make you more successful in whatever endeavors it is that you're trying to take on throughout your sobriety and recovery process. And the last thing I'll say on patience is this: time. Things do take time. In active addiction, time would fly by, right? I was high. I was under the influence of alcohol. I was under the influence of nicotine. Time would just pass me by aimlessly. Now that I actually have an awareness of time and how I'm using my time and all the things that need to be done, that can create a lack of patience. I want this to be successful instantly. I want this to be done immediately. I want to change how I look overnight. And just accepting that things in life actually take time and learning how to experience time not under the influence of a drug was a really big change for me. And if you're watching this video, chances are it's a big change for you as well. Now, if you want to learn more about all this stuff, check out the pinned comment or the video description to download some of our free resources. Learn more about our Kick It, Crave Less chewing gum if cravings are something you're struggling with, or consider booking a one-on-one coaching call. I'm happy to dive deeper into this stuff with you guys. We got plenty of resources. Take advantage of them. Until next time.